Now, if you track with the channel, of course you know we're really keen on the LEGO video games, and today we've got a treat for you because we're visiting Disney and Marvel, and we've got Brian Austin from Warner to talk us through.
Yeah, sure. So today we're talking about LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. This is a sequel to the fan favorite LEGO Marvel Superheroes 1, and this game takes place immediately after the ending of the first game, where the Guardians come to Earth and they are there to tell the Avengers of a bigger looming threat that's coming to the universe. And that threat is Kang the Conqueror, and he has come to take over all of time, all of the Marvel Universe, and he has sort of pulled all of these different timelines and locations from all across the Marvel Universe and brought them into a central hub called Chronopolis. And so he's there, and the Guardians and our favorite Marvel characters are all here to try to stop him.
And so we're playing a level here. This isn't right at the start of the game, I understand. We sort of jumped in a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a few minutes into the beginning of the game. You have the Guardians coming to sort of answer a threat that Kang has placed. And this beginning level starts out, you're on the Guardians ship, the Milano, and you are trying to basically get out of the ship and go and fight one of Kang's larger enemies.
And so what they're doing here, it just popped up, say, looking for a switch. Is that a particular thing they need to find?
Yeah, so if they were to go into the other room, there is a lever that Gamora can jump up and grab. And so, like with all the LEGO games, there's a lot of really cool puzzle aspects to the game, things that allow the player to sort of think. And
there you go, I think he's got it.
Yep, he's got it. And so now that will sort of drop down some jumping Lego bricks, which is a key indicator for something that you can build. And so they're going to build this switch that allows them to get down to the lower part of the ship.
So we've got my three kids here playing, and they play quite a lot of LEGO games. I guess each one is slightly different, though. You do introduce new elements for each one.
Yeah, so the team at TT, they're constantly working hard to deliver new and exciting experiences and add sort of new mechanics to these games to make them feel unique and special. But they also mix that in with things that are familiar, and there's the mechanics that are very true to the Lego experience about building, and when you break stuff, it destroys into little Lego bricks, and so it's that finding that balance of new fun mechanics for players, as well as things that are iconic and for the Lego games.
And obviously with the Marvel brand, you've got a whole load of characters to draw on, that sort of rich history in the magazines and the comics. Are there particular favourite characters that you've got into this game you're excited about?
Yeah, with this game, one of the really cool things that we're able to do, because we're dealing with a character like Kang who sort of brings all these different timelines together, we're able to really pull from the deep library of characters, get some of the more obscure characters. We have a medieval Hulk variant called Greenskin Smash Troll, who was from a one-off comic that not a lot of people may know, but and then we also have a lot of variety of, like, we have Egyptian Thor, we have time variant characters like Throg, which is the Thor frog. We have characters like Tony Stark from the Wild West, and Cowboy Captain America, and Spider-Man 2099, and all of these characters that are from that like you said, that rich Marvel universe. They have tons of characters that we are able to pull from, and it really allows us to build an experience that allows players to play some of these really cool characters.
Nice. I think, kids, it's time to switch over to the next player. So Tom's going to pass over to Ollie. Obviously, here we're just taking turns, but in the final game, there's a co-op. Is that still two-player co-op?
Yeah, so we'll have two-player co-op, and then we've also announced there's a four-player multiplayer mode as well.
Oh, four-player? Oh, is that like a sort of an arena battle type thing?
Yeah, so it'll be four-player arena multiplayer, We haven't given too much details about that yet, but it'll be a fun experience as well.
And in terms of platforms, we're playing here on the PlayStation 4, but I understand obviously it's not just going to be PlayStation. Could you talk a bit about the other platforms you're bringing it to this year?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, we'll be on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and the Nintendo Switch.
And so the Switch is kind of new to that lineup. Does it play differently on the Switch? Does it have different features, or is it sort of point for point, similar to the PS4?
Yeah, so it will be feature for feature. Everything will be the same, and you won't have to have a Pro controller. You'll be able to play each with a Joy-Con. So each player can use a Joy-Con rather than having to have multiple Pro controllers or things like that. So.
And that's an important point, I think, because as I understand it, we were playing Lego City Undercover on the Switch, and I had thought I could just use two Joy-Con to do two-player. I think on that game you did need a Pro controller to play with the second player. That's correct.
So this one, it was really important to us because not everyone has that, so we wanted to make sure that people were able to play the game with what comes in the box for the Switch.
But so in that list you didn't include the Wii U. Is that a platform you're moving on from?
Yeah, so I think with this game and our other Lego title this year, we've sort of moved on to the next generation, and that really allows us to push the boundaries of what's possible by moving the game to the next generation consoles.
We were looking at some footage not on camera that we saw earlier, which was like the open world, sort of overworld that was very big. You explored different areas. It reminded me a bit of some of the scalar stuff you've done in Lego Dimensions. Is some of the work you've done there coming across to these big franchise Lego games?
Yeah, so I mean, with the team at TT, making the hub world of Chronopolis feel big because it encapsulates all of these different timelines and locations. It was really important that it felt huge, and so it's one of the most ambitious open worlds the team's ever done. And so we're really excited for people to get their hands on just the diversity of environments, from going somewhere like ancient Egypt to Noir, New York, where everything looks very retro and it's all in black and white. And so players will be able to experience these locations and how different they all are. And it's just a really cool experience when you look at it from what we've done in the past.
Nice. This section here, they're taking on a really big enemy, so you've got that sense of scale. How does that change how you sort of develop the game?
Sure. So, like I think I was telling you before offline, that this is Isan. He is a celestial, and Kang has brought him from the end of time to come and try to conquer Xandar. And so he is a huge character, and so there will be lots of boss battles.
Also tiny characters. Baby Groot just popped up there as you're talking, made me laugh.
Yeah, so actually Baby Groot is one of our favorites. He is such a cool little character, and one of the cool features actually about this game is we have somewhat time manipulation mechanics. So if he switches to Groot right now and holds the Y button,
which he's doing, is he? Trying to. If he holds the triangle button, I'm thinking Xbox. Yeah, the triangle button. He will throw out a time mechanic that allows him to grow into full size. Oh, neat.
So we'll be playing with different time mechanics throughout the game, and allowing players to really have fun with that kind of mechanic.
Cool. And how much longer is left on this demo currently?
So probably. It depends on how quickly they move through it, but probably about 6-7 minutes.
Okay. So it sounds like that's a good time for Ollie to pass on to Ellen. Well done. Did that without complaining. Pretty effective. Behaving nicely. Yep. So what else is in this Marvel game that maybe we haven't seen before?
So I think one of the other cool things that players can expect that is sort of different is some of these characters have really unique and cool sort of animations, and that's something that TT does really well, and they really understand that Marvel and that Lego humor, and they're able to take the franchises and the characters that we really love and sort of bring them to life in a fun way. One of the things that I saw one of your boys doing earlier is if you are Star-Lord and you're on the ground and you hold the square button, he will put on headphones and listen to music
Nice.
and dance and shoot, and you can attack while doing that, and it's just a really cool little Easter egg that maybe some people won't discover, but there's lots of fun, cool little Marvel Easter eggs throughout the game.
Yes, I guess there must be a balance because you have some very hardcore Marvel fans who know every little minutiae of every little character. You also have sort of families who maybe watch a few films but don't know it in so much detail. How do you sort of hit that balance between serving fans and families?
Sure, and that is something that's tricky, and I think the team works closely with Marvel to identify which characters are the ones that are maybe a little too niche, and we'll use those as Easter eggs, and then making sure that anyone who picks up the game feels like there's characters that they can relate to. There's men characters, female characters, aliens, raccoons, and so we want to make sure that when anyone picks up the game to play, they feel like that it's accessible and that there's characters that they know, and it's not all unfamiliar. So it's like you said, it's finding that balance between the known characters and exposing them to characters that they may or may not have ever heard about, but are actually really cool. And that's a really fun thing for the team, is to be able to expose a new audience to some of those characters that people may have never heard about because they were in comics in the 60s.
Yes, maybe the first time you come across even some of the larger characters. I think, in fact, that some of my kids played games with Spider-Man probably before they saw films.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice way to get them into that. Then they're thinking, oh, what's the films coming out? They know about that character.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Marvel has a huge lineup of movies and TV shows and experiences, and being able to be to share a part of bringing these characters that we all know and love. The team at TT, they are hardcore Marvel fans, and it's the passion of bringing these characters and experiences to life that allows them to sort of get to know those characters.
So it feels like we're approaching the demise of our big enemy here. How are they doing? What do they need to do to finish this off?
So what they're looking to do is, they already damaged Ison's hand. So what they need to do is stand on that glowing red circle. If they hold the circle button, they'll be able to land, and then they just stand on that.
What are you doing? Just about there.
There we go. And now if they switch characters with triangle, they'll grab Drax, and they'll jump up on his forearm, and it will launch him up to Ison's shoulder.
And so I guess if you were playing with two players, one of you could stand on a hand, and the other one could then go across. So maybe with one player, is it a little bit more difficult, is it? Yeah,
so it can be a little tricky to manage all of the characters at the same time when you're by yourself. But that's one of the great things about these games, is being able to play them co-op with your friends and family. That's something that I think is really important for us, is that working collaboratively together to make a fun experience.
And I think a bit of trial and error, and for it not to get it first time, is part of that challenge. You don't want to have a game where you're just walking through ticking boxes.
Exactly.
It's trying to work out what to do next and how to actually progress. Is sort of part of the fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's important that you get that the players feel that sense of reward and accomplishment for sort of solving the puzzle. We don't want it to be too easy, and so finding that perfect balance of satisfaction from accomplishing stuff, and that not being too hard.
Here they are, a bit of perseverance. I think we're making some progress again now. So up on his shoulder.
Yeah, so they're going to open up this valve that will release the gas that's in his shoulder component, and then they'll be able to jump down and shoot Ison in the chest, and hopefully send him back to time where he came from. So that green spot's the weak spot that they're going to aim for. So they can pick any character with a gun, so Star-Lord or Rocket, and then they just press the square button and do damage to his chest. They can run right up to him.
Obviously, a part of the game is not just the sort of the main story, but once you've finished it, you can go back and there's lots more characters to collect.
Yeah,
so that's the case here as well, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, like I said, part of the hub world of Chronopolis. There's a ton of side quests and things to do after you finish the game. Then not to mention being able to go back and sort of replay all of these levels with the different characters that you've unlocked as you progress, and so. Being able to have that replayability is huge for us.
It's often isn't it you come back to the same area but you've got a different character unlocked, so that means you can access different bits, and so you can finish the game, but that's only a small part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's things that are only unlocked once you have different characters that have different skill sets, and being able to combine those things together allows players to have a reason to come back and play those things. So. They've done it.
We're done.
Nissan, and they're going to see a little ending cinematic, and then that's the end of the demo.
I think these cinematics are nice as well because it has a sort of a humour all of its own, really. That seems to sort of spun off into like movies, and some of that kind of stuff started here in these video game little shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the great things about the Lego brand, as well as Marvel and the collaboration with TT, is they're really able to pull together these humor moments that you can only really get in a Lego game. You don't get that in other games, and it's just really fun.
Yeah, let's just skip it. Thanks, Tom. Yeah. That's fine. But that's been really, really helpful. So what did you think, kids? Do you like it? Let me just get your opinion. You enjoy it?
Yes.
Ollie?
Yeah.
And Ellen, how do you think about it? It's good all round. Well, thanks for your time. We're very much looking forward to the game coming out in full and seeing more about it, but today that's what we've got time for. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. We're looking forward for you guys to get hands-on with the game when it comes out November 14th in the US and November 17th in the UK.
Perfect, thanks a lot.